welcome to ILTV's Evening Update. I'm Aaron Porras here with the latest news from Israel. Today, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad accused Israel of trying to topple his embattled government, claiming that the Free Syrian Army is in fact fighting on behalf of the Jewish state. Assad was quoted as saying, quote, "Even if they're not a regular Israeli army, they are still fighting for Israel," end quote. The Israeli government has denied providing any sort of military intervention. However, in 2015, former Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon revealed that Israel had been providing humanitarian aid to various factions of the Free Syrian Army. In related news, Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman said that he was 100% certain that Assad was directly responsible for the chemical attack in Idlib, killing over 80 people, including at least 20 children. Within the Jewish world, several rabbinical groups have evoked the Holocaust, calling for Israel to assist Syrians caught up in the civil war. Earlier this week, the religious Zionist Rabbinical Association, Beit Hillel, published an editorial in support of Syrian refugees. Beit Hillel chairman, Rabbi Meir Nehorai, said that the pathways to the Torah are paths of peace, and therefore it's not only permitted by a religious commandment to make this so. Unfortunately, we are witness to mass killings in Syria, and we must not ignore this terrible reality, but instead use this tool in our hands to prevent killing and genocide. Rabbi Doniel Hartman, president of the Shalom Hartman Institute, also called for concrete action by the Israeli government to stop the mass killing in Syria. Speaking to the Jerusalem Post, Rabbi Hartman was quoted as saying, quote, "Silence enabled the Holocaust to happen, and words are prelude to action, so we need to create a space for our moral outrage at what is happening in Syria," end quote. According to Hamas's Interior and National Security Ministry, 3 men accused of collaborating with Israel were hung today. The executions follow in the wake of a nearly 2-week-long search for the supposed assassins of Mazen Fakawa, a top Hamas member. Hamas announced today that they had arrested dozens during the course of their investigation, but oddly, none of the 3 men executed were suspected of being related to Fakawa's murder. Hamas continues to blame Israel for being behind the assassination, but Israel denies any involvement. The 3 men killed by Hamas today were charged with producing information about Hamas members and military installations to Israel over the past 30 years, thus leading to the death of many Hamas militants. Hamas is an internationally recognized terror organization that's ruled over the Gaza Strip since 2007. Executive Director of the Middle East Division of Human Rights Watch, Sarah Leah Winston, released a statement condemning the killings and saying, quote, "The abhorrent executions by Hamas authorities of 3 men in Gaza deemed to be collaborators project weakness, not strength," end quote. The latest news regarding the 18-year-old who called in hundreds of bomb threats to Jewish community centers across North America will probably shock you. New reports reveal that the Israeli-American citizen, in addition to his alleged criminal bomb threats, is also being charged with forging and selling identity cards, passports, and driver's licenses over the dark web. Israeli investigators discovered these new actions after finding that the teen, known by pseudonym M, had amassed millions of shekels worth of bitcoins in an online account. Police are now looking into the buyers of these alleged forged documents. M is being charged with extortion, making threats, publishing false information, and sowing widespread fear and panic. M's parents have both come out publicly to apologize for their son's actions and beg for forgiveness, saying that he can't be held responsible as he suffers from both autism and an inoperable non-malignant brain tumor that has had a great effect on his behavior. Today, Russia's foreign ministry has announced that it recognizes West Jerusalem as Israel's capital. This makes Russia the first country in the world to recognize any part of Jerusalem as the Jewish state's capital. The statement, issued by the Russian Foreign Ministry, reads, quote, "We reaffirm our commitment to the UN-approved principles of the Palestinian-Israeli settlement, which includes the status of East Jerusalem as the capital of the future Palestinian state. At the same time, we must state that in this context, we view West Jerusalem as the capital of Israel," end quote. In the coming days, Russia's ambassador to Israel, Alexander Shein, will meet with foreign ministry officials to discuss the ramifications of Moscow's decision. As of yet, Russia has announced that it has no plans to relocate its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. One Israeli diplomat told the Jerusalem Post that the move may be a ploy to distract Israel from Moscow's culpability in the Syrian chemical attack that left over 80 dead, including at least 20 children. Much of the international community, including the United States and Israel, believe that the attack had been ordered by Moscow's ally, embattled Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. However, despite the widespread condemnation of Assad's actions, the Kremlin remains firm in supporting its ally. That's all for now. Stay tuned on ILTV.tv for our main daily broadcast playing after this. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you next time with our morning briefing from Israel at 8 a.m. Eastern Time.